Good morning, Ajahns. Good morning, Aya. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Buddhist Society of Victoria's Robe Offering Ceremony 2024. It gives me great pleasure to say a few words on behalf of the BSV committee on this occasion. Adrian had to go away. He's in Malaysia at the moment, our president, because of some family urgency. So thank you all for coming. Anyway, the robe offering ceremony is a joyous occasion where the monastic and the lay Buddhist communities come together in a united congregation to appreciate each other's dedication to Buddha's teachings. And it is wonderful to see our BSV and the wider community today in full force, and the Newbury community in full force to show our gratitude to our Sangha members. I should also point out that indeed it's fitting that this year's celebration is held here at Newbury, and this year we are celebrating the 10th anniversary also, so it's a very joyous occasion. So before we officially start the robe offering celebration, let us first acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community. We pay respect to their elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today. So just a brief summary of today's events. First, we will start with taking the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts, followed by the reflections about the 2024 Rains Retreat from NBM Senior Monk and Senior Nun. Then Ajahn Nisarano will give a Dhamma talk, followed by a short blessing by the monastics, after which there will be a rice alms round, Pindapata, and around 11 a.m. there will be community lunch for everyone. After lunch, the main ceremony will be from 12:30 until 2:15. And at 2:15, everyone who wishes to participate in the procession, 12:15. 12:15, everyone who wishes to participate in the procession, carrying the main Vassa robe and the robes to be offered to the senior monastics from the Buddhaloka Center and NBM. So they will be going in the procession. And the gathering point will be at the generator near the front gate and proceed around the circular road. So please touch the cloth and the robes if you wish and join the procession to make it a real celebration. It's about 15 to 20 minutes. And then at 12:45, our events coordinator Simon will outline the remainder of the program. Please listen to the announcements, because when the day progresses, there will be slight changes to the program as well in case of delays with the others. So please listen to Simon's announcements. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry?
Thank you, Ajahn.
No, yeah, I think that's good. Thank you, India.
So now it's time to officially start the proceedings. And we now invite Chinta to request the 3 refuges and 5 precepts from Aya Upekka on behalf of all of us. Thank you, Chinta.
It's a hard bit.
Mayam Aye Tisaranena Saha Panchasilani Yachama Dutiyampi Mayam Aye Tisaranena Saha Panchasilani Yachama Tatyampi Mayam Aye Tisaranena Saha Panchasilani Yacham.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, by special request, today's precepts and the recitation will be done in Pali, because I was told that most of them, our devotees here, and I think including me, are not very familiar with the English recitation from beginning to end. So let's do it in Pali. And for those who are not familiar, you do understand what it's like to take refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and also what it's like to take up the 5 precepts and observe it every day. So I'm quite sure the meaning is already understood by most of you. It's just that the Pali chant may not be familiar to some of you. Okay, so we'll do it in Pali as requested this morning. All right, so if you're able to repeat after me. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Ti saranang ganmanani titang.
Ahang maye.
Now for the 5 precepts in Pali. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinnadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinnadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kamesu miccachara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kamesu miccachara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musawada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musawada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Surameraya majjapamadatthana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Surameraya majjapamadatthana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So now let us all recite together in Pali the recollection of the qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Please recite together. Iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vecca charana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati sattha deva manussanang buddho bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditthiko Akaliko Ehipassiko Opanaiko Pachattang Veditappo Vinyuhiti Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Jupatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Nyaya Patipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Samishi Patipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Yadidam Chattari Purisa Yugani Atta Purisa Pukkala Esa Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakhineyo Anjali Karaniyo Anuttarang Punyaketang Lokasati. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So now we pass it to Ajahn.
Righto, yeah. So there we are. That's great. That's a very important part of the today's proceedings, this celebration. I call it a celebration more than a ceremony. Ceremonies don't sound like that enjoyable, but celebrations are very much enjoyed, and that's important that we celebrate today. Celebrate that we have the Buddhist teaching, that we have a Sangha here that has observed the Vassa. So this is what we can, the many things we're celebrating actually today, but just to begin with, first of all, just a reflection on the Vassa for the monk side, and then we'll pass over to the nuns. And I don't want to go on for too long, but so that would be good. And just to, first of all, we had 4 monks for the first Vassa. We had 4 monks for the first Vassa, and we had these 4 monks spent the 3 months here at Newbury Buddhist Monastery. And I'll introduce those monks. And we also had a 5th monk who came later, but I'll talk about that later.
Not this one.
Course,
not this one.
There we are. Good timing. Good timing. Good timing. I get to you in a minute, so perfect. Welcome to Ajahn Sadharo. Most of you know Ajahn Sadharo from, he's mainly staying at Buddhaloka, but of course he spent time here as well at Newbury. So that's great that Ajahn Sadharo can join us. He's part of the Sangha that the BSV has. The BSV is of course, it's Buddhaloka Centre and here at Newbury. And who knows, in the future, there may be other places too. So, as I was mentioning, we had four monks, and the reason we call this a robe offering ceremony and not a katina is because you usually need 5 monks or 5 nuns to have a katina. And last year we had a katina for the monks and 4 nuns, but we're almost towards a katina, a double katina for the monks and the nuns. But so this is a robe offering ceremony today. That's the reason. And of course myself, I was here for the Vassa, and I think most of you know me, but I am Ajahn Sarano, and of course I've had a long connection with the BSV since the 90s. I've been around a bit, and of course ordained with Ajahn Brahm. And I have 27 Vassa, and Ajahn Bodhicitta, he became a Mahatera, I think 20 Vassa this year. And like myself, he was ordained at Ajahn Brahm's monastery in Western Australia. And Ajahn Sadharo is, no, that's, you come in the next list actually. But you 17 Vassa or 18? Can't remember. There it's up around there, 17 or 18, I think it is. And of course, here at Newbury, the next one was Ajahn Mudita, who also ordained with Ajahn Brahm, and he's 13 Vassa. And we had Venerable Sarato. I think some of you may have met him, but he's gone back to Perth. His health wasn't too good, so he's headed back early. He didn't stay for the katina, or the robe offering, sorry. Whoa. And last but not least, Venerable Metta Vihari. And he's also ordained in Perth, and he's got 3 Vasa, 3 rains retreats. So that's the Sangha who spent the Vasa here at Newbury. And I'll just mention that Ajahn Mudito, he joined us in August. And of course, that's for the 2nd Vasa. Do most people know of the 2nd Vasa? I don't think. Sri Lanka they do. They call it Pasuvas. But in Thai tradition, it's not so common. So the 2nd Vasa begins a month later and finishes a month later. So Ajahn Mudito, when are you going to finish? Friday. Friday is the end of the Vasa season, the end of the robe offering season, the end of the making robe season too. So he joined us to help out at SOS, the Sanctuary of Stillness Meditation Centre. And he's quite a sacrifice because it's a lot of work, as you can imagine. And he's giving it 100%. Ajahn Brahm would say, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So there we are. So thank you for Ajahn Mudito making that sacrifice for the Vasa. So that's great. And we are offering him, after the opening of the meditation centre, Sanctuary of Stillness, SOS, what a perfect name for this time in history. We need this. SOS is really vital, actually, for mental health. But after it opens at the end of January, 26th of January, the proceedings are all finished. Ajahn Brahm's gone back to Bodhinyana. We hope that Ajahn Mudito can have a 2-week or 1-month retreat. So that would be really good. He has his Vasa later. And also like to mention our 6th month, isn't it? 6th really, Ajahn Sadharo, who spent the Vasa in Buddha Loka. And I call that holding the fort. Somebody has to, actually, because that's where most of our teaching happens. So it's very important for us. And of course, as you know, he's initiated lots of new programs, which I think have started up again in October with Discover Buddhism, Learn Meditation from a Monk. And it's now into its 2nd course, which is Nurturing Awareness. So this is great. And also to thank him for all the support, because when we have visiting teachers, he teaches the Monday night meditation. They do the Sunday morning program, but we need somebody to do the Monday night. And he does that. So sadhu, sadhu, sadhu to Ajahn Sadharo for that. And of course, I'll just finish off pretty quickly, I think, so I can leave time for Ayya. And of course, the Rains Retreat is about focusing on our inner life. And this is where our experience of the world comes from. So very important, not only for monastics, not only for monks and nuns, but everybody to take time out, look after the mind. Most people don't, but we're very fortunate. We have the Buddha's teaching and we know how important that is. So just to mention that we have these, the Vasa is really for that, slowing down and focusing on the inner world, the world of the mind and the heart. So just to mention that the Rains Retreat, of course, it was a bit busier than expected. Not really expected, because we're opening a meditation centre, and it's quite a lot of, it has an impact on the Vasa, and it did. So we were a bit busier this year for the Rains Retreat than last year. And also, as I mentioned, one of the monks had very serious health problems, and so he was in a lot of pain, so that really impacted too on the Rains Retreat as well. And like last year, we joined in the Rains Retreat at Bodhinyana in Western Australia, Ajahn Brahm's monastery. They record all the talks and we watched them a few days later. And we also joined in on their sutta classes. And now we have a big monitor like this that we're borrowing from the meditation centre, so we can feel as if we're actually there at Bodhinyana, because it's video as well as sound. So it's a very, very nice to be part of that. And during the Vasa, as always, we have the opportunity for a 2-week personal retreat. And this Vasa, 2 monks, myself included, and 3 laymen had personal retreats in their, staying in their huts for most of the time, or rooms, and also somebody organising the food and then usually picking it up from the veranda of our main building. And also very limited interaction, and it's all about being on our own, being with ourselves, and this is so important for all of us. And I know for me it was a very refreshing time. It's amazing when, and this is very important I think for everyone, when we take time out like this, it's incredible how much more beautiful, how more clear things are, and how much more we appreciate things. Because often we're so busy in our lives, we don't notice things that are actually very significant, very important and beautiful. So I notice on my personal retreat how beautiful a monastery is, and how fortunate I am to have this opportunity to be a monk and have such good support for that. So that's the effect, as it were, of the having a personal retreat. So encourage everybody to take time out to look after the mind, look after the heart. And of course it's just to mention quickly that it's a time of gratitude too. We feel great when I have these retreats, when we have this opportunity, we feel a lot of gratitude for all those people who make it possible, support us. And of course, big gratitude to Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Otherwise we wouldn't be doing this, actually, so that's it. And and also for those who helped do the teaching during the Vassa, Ajahn Mudito helped, myself, and of course Ajahn Sadro big time, and also those monks from Dhamsua. Do you know Dhamsua? Venerable Pasadika, and Venerable Buddhavihari, and Venerable Jinaratana. And not to miss out, Venerable Chikwang Sinim. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here today. She's not very well, so but she also did some teaching during the Vassa. And of course to all the community that supported us with food, with sponsored meals, this is a development, and also for the BSV committee that's also looking after us and making this possible. And of course the committee, I call it a full-time job. I think ex-members love it when they can come to these events. I was just talking to Lai, he was saying, oh, I can really enjoy today. He was the former events coordinator, so you can imagine very, very busy on occasions like this formally. But now he's stepped back from that, like Chinta. You can really enjoy these occasions. So sadhu for that. So that sort of gives you an idea of the monks' Vassa, sadhu, rains retreat. And now for Aya. There we are, Aya. Would you like to? Yes, sadhu. Yeah.
Ajahn, was that your reflection?
That was.
Oh, okay. Thank goodness. Because he put my name first. I was thinking, what am I going to say? Okay.
Gives you time to think. I have it all. Sort of
Thank you, Ajahn. Yeah. Okay, so actually, I didn't really have time to prepare for what I'm going to say, so I just wrote a few notes this morning when I woke up. So, good. As Ajahn has mentioned, Vassa this year was a very busy period for most of us, especially in lottery. I think mainly because we were all trying to ensure that the SOS, the basic construction and all that are being put in place, hoping for an early approval. And well, as usual, Vassa is supposed to be a time for us to really internalize the Dhamma, not that we wait for Vassa, but that is the time when we really have more time, supposedly to have more time for the Sangha to have more time to really put into practice. And not only put into practice, but to really understand what the Buddha was trying to teach us. Yeah. So this year's Vassa, as Ajahn has mentioned, has been very eventful as well as busy, but it's all for a good cause. And I think the reflection that I would have for all these things is that we all have to be ready to embrace changes, to embrace what you call unsatisfactory kind of situations arising, and also to know that we are never in control. Yeah. So don't think that we are always able to control things, right? You may be able to control at certain times, but not all the time. So anicca, dukkha, and anatta makes its presence felt very strongly, especially in the monastery. Yeah, and this is good because we really learn how to live in the present moment and how to let go of the past and the future. It's really a very good kind of what I call reminder for us. Yeah. So as Ajahn has also mentioned, we really wish to say our thank yous and our real deep felt sincere gratitude to every one of you. Whether you're here today or not, all of you have played such an important part to ensure that the 4 requisites here are well provided and looked after in order for the Sangha members not to worry about all these things. Although we do have to work and all that, but everything that we use, everything that you see here is from all of you. Everything. So it is really with sincere gratitude that we say sadhu anumodami to all of you. Okay? Not only from the laity, but also to the presence of the Bhikkhu Sangha and also the Bhikkhuni Sangha. All the monastics are here trying to support one another in our practice. We are not, we are not distancing ourselves from anybody. Anyone who is on the same path, we really hope that we can support one another, whether it's from distance or from near, inside here, on site. So our gratitude to all the Sangha members who have been here, our sister nuns. And before I forget, I would really like to introduce our sister nuns who are here today. I'll start from the baby. No, toddler now. Ayah Suneta. And we actually are very happy to have the presence of Bhikkhuni Buddhini. Did I get it right? Yeah, she's a Bhikkhuni, and whom the 2 ayahs have met in India when Ayah went for her higher ordination. And we have, of course, Ayah Sankappa here, and Upika, as all of you have known. Yeah. So these are the 4. And during the Vasa, I think Ayah Santa was here for a short period. She's now in Perth, and she'll be coming back, I think, sometime in 22nd November or something, before she flies off to India. Yeah, so this is the Sangha who have spent, except for Ayah, who actually was hoping to spend Vasa here, so we hope that perhaps in the future she can do that, if we have enough rooms in the nuns' cottage, yeah. And also we are also very happy that from this Vasa onwards, we will be able to start accepting females who want to become bhikkhunis here. There were some conditions that was not very supportive during the past 2 years, so we didn't actually accept anyone who wanted to come in. But I think conditions are now ripening for us to accept more females to come in. So anyone who is 45 and under, you're most welcome to come in for training. Okay, and then I think the important thing for me to really be grateful for is that we are so well provided, not only with the support from the Sangha as well as the lay practitioners, but we have such a beautiful environment here. And we have our little joys daily by being close with Mother Nature. Our animals are actually coming right to the doorstep here, sitting there, waiting to be fed. Wow, that's so beautiful. That feeling is so beautiful. It only shows that, they have confidence that we won't harm them. Yeah, it's so beautiful. So a lot of you who have been staying here before, I think everyone really enjoyed feeding the animals and all that. But of course, we were told, don't feed the animals. They will not know how to hunt themselves. I think there's not many things for them to hunt. That's why they come here for food. Yeah. So we just try to practice what the Metta Sutta has taught us. With a boundless heart, one should cherish all living beings. We don't just want to live according to worldly views, worldly values, worldly aims. We have to transcend at some times. We have to transcend. So this is the most important lesson for me, actually, to really have the time to, although be busy, but at least to be mindful of why we're busy, and also to be able to catch the thoughts that's arising, whether they are positive or negative, whether busy or not busy, whether in retreat or whatever. The thoughts arising, we have to be able to catch it in time, so we know what the right effort is. The 4 throngs, the four what do you call it? The four what do you call it? Yeah, the 4 aspects of right effort. Yeah, so that is so important, because busy or not busy, the thoughts arising, we should be able to know whether it's wholesome or not wholesome, and that is so important every day. So I really feel that Every day, sometimes when Ajahn say, "Is there anybody new here today?" Put up your hand. I always put up my hand. Ajahn, I woke up this morning. I live one more day. I'm still breathing. So I really am very thankful that I am being born again today. Yeah, so I'm born every day. My birthday is every day, okay? You can celebrate my birthday every day. Yeah, okay. And then also, the most important, of course, is that as long as there's breath in us, for me, it's important for me to not only be of service and also to be practicing, but the most important for me is, am I able to really steer my path towards awakening to the truth that Lord Buddha is hoping that we understand too. Why are we here? How do we get out of here? That's the most important thing, which I hope all of us can be awakened to one day. And that concludes my reflection for today. Thank you so much. And I really want to thank my sister nuns for working so hard to support this place. Yep. Without them, I wouldn't be able to make it. Thank you so very much. All of you too. All of you and our regular volunteers who come in here. Sometimes they just come here for the weekend to specially help us, and then they go off to do their own jobs. Without all of you, I don't think we can make it this far. So thank you so very much. Sadhu Namo Dhammi.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you for that, Aya. Thanks for the reflection. They're sort of like mini Dhamma talks, aren't we? Both of ours already. But this is the time for a Dhamma talk. And talking about, of course, usually we'd talk about the katina. This today we're talking about... Closer? Is that better? Is this one... This is not yours, is it? This one? Is it? Is that loud enough? Can you hear now? Better, is it? Can everyone hear? Yeah, good. There we are. Can get it even closer. There is this little device here. I think it might be somebody's... I don't know what it is, actually. It's a microphone. I thought it might be for hearing, actually. Yeah. Oh, that's good. All right. That's lovely, Corey. You can make it here. And you've been a part of this, the journey that's been the growth, the birth of NBM and the development of NBM, Newbury Buddhist Monastery. And you've been associated many years with the Buddhist Society of Victoria and made this. You were the president at the time, I think, this started, didn't it? Yes. There we are. So it's historic. So, of course, I think most of you who have gone to a number of katinas, many of you gone to a number of katinas, probably this year even. You hear about the katina, you hear about this robe offering ceremonies and how, it's for those that have spent the 3 months in a monastery. And we've had some very beautiful katinas or robe offering ceremonies. I've been to 3 already this year. I know when I was at the last one, I asked a monk, how many have you been to? And he said, I'm up to 8 now. And he still had this weekend to go, and I thought, wow, he's going to get 9, 10 or whatever. So they're very, very popular in Buddhist countries, of course, and very treasured. And it's a great opportunity for people, for the community to come together. That's what the robe offering ceremony, the katina, is really about. All the technical stuff for a katina, and there is quite a bit of technical stuff, as I mentioned. It's when we have 5 monks or 5 nuns living in a monastery, then we're eligible for a katina, a proper katina, and then we sew the robe and all this sort of thing, and then we spread the katina, which means that all the monks who have spent that wasa together get 5 privileges. And the same for the nuns too, if they had a katina as well. But we're not having a katina this year. We're having this robe offering. But it doesn't matter, because what this is all about, of course, is the community coming together. And that community is the monks and the nuns, fully ordained monks, fully ordained nuns, and the upasikas, the lay women, and the upasikas, the lay men. So it's all of us together. This is a beautiful thing about Buddhism. The way the Buddha set it up, the whole of the sasana, the whole of the teachings, the Vinaya, incredible to make it last for so long. It just runs by itself, because not only was he awakened, enlightened, and could teach all the deep Dhammas, but it's very practical. I mean, for an institution to last for 2,500 years plus, do you know of any other any other institutions that have lasted that long? I can't think of any off the top of my head. And I would say this is one of the oldest institutions. And how is that possible? Because the Buddha set it up so well. But the essence of what this day is celebrating is this mutual support between all the aspects of the community, the lay community and the Sangha particularly. And there is a lovely sutta or sutra that the Buddha gave where it's called Very Helpful. Isn't that a nice name? Very Helpful. The Buddha says that the lay community is very helpful to the Sangha because they look after all the physical necessities. They look after robes. They look after food is very important. I often say to people, if you didn't come today, if people didn't offer food, the sasana would have finished a long time ago. So these are very important: food, the robes, and of course a place to stay. In Newbury, do you think it's possible to stay at the root of a tree? Could do, but I think you might need quite a lot of thermal underwear or something to keep you warm. And then, of course, what's the other one that's provided by the community? A necessity is medicine, isn't it? So those things the community offers to the Sangha, and that's fantastic. That is vital. And of course, in return, the Sangha gives teachings, and it passes on the teaching which the Buddha says in this sutra. He says it's good in the beginning, good in the middle, and good in the end. And of course, that is the Dhamma, and he says that it's the teaching that gives a full and complete teaching that is pure. And this is the most important thing, because I think this is the purpose really of a robe offering ceremony, of a katina. And he says, thus, amongst this holy life is lived with mutual support for the purpose of crossing the flood and making a complete ending of suffering. So it's for the purpose of crossing the flood and making a complete ending of suffering. And that sounds very grand, and of course that is what the Buddha is aiming for us. Of course the Buddha's teaching is about happiness here and now. If we live an ethical life, if we're a generous person, if we develop the mind, we will have happiness here and now. But of course, and it will also be happiness in future lives. If we take a rebirth, then if we've been ethical, generous, have good mind states, we'll have a good life. Probably even a life in a heavenly realm, a Deva realm. But the Buddha is always interested in the complete ending of suffering. And that is, what is the complete ending of suffering? Anyone know? Nibbana, yeah, that's true. It's not being born again. Because if we're born again, here we go again. And that's what I say to people. If we only had one life, you might say, well, tough, there's a lot of suffering that happens in life, a lot of bad things. There's some good things too, of course. But if it repeats again and again, I think then people would say, no, I don't want to go there. And I often say to people, if you go to an aged care home and you ask people there, do you want to do this again? Do you think they'd say, yes, yes? Most of them would say no, but because of their attachments, they definitely come back to the new life. Because of the grandchildren, because of all those things that they're attached to. But one of the things that this sutra says, the verses particularly, and I like this, it says, householders and homeless alike, so that's yourselves and the monks and nuns, each are a support for the other. Each are a support for the other. Both accomplish the true Dhamma. The unsurpassed security from bondage. So it means that all of us can go towards awakening, towards enlightenment. It's not just for the monks and nuns. And as you will remember, most of you probably have heard, during the time of the Buddha, there were many awakened lay people. They were stream enterers, the first stage of enlightenment, or Sakadagami, second stage, or Anagamis, third stage. They say once you become an arahant, that's it. You're finished with being a layperson, but you also, they say, you pass away within 7 days. So this mutual support is really the important thing. We're here in this together. That's the message of mutual support, to help each other. So this is what we are doing today when we come together. And of course, as I mentioned, it's for crossing the flood. Any ideas of what the flood is? Samsara, it is. But there are 4 floods, and these are the things that keep us in samsara. One flood is the flood, the Buddha calls it, of sensuality, and that's all the delighting in, finding our happiness in, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting and touching, and thinking about it. This is our whole world, actually. People might think this is a small thing. You know, when you hear the Buddha's teaching, I don't know about you, when you hear that seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting and touching and the mind thinking about those things is the whole world. Isn't it amazing? It's true. But we think the world it seems so much more complicated. That's what I always felt. But when you see it through the eyes of an awakened person, you think, yeah, that's it. But it's our attachment to those things, the sights, all the people that are dear to us, the sounds that we like, the music, the conversations with those that we're close to, the tastes. Food is a big thing for people, isn't it? It really is. And of course, pleasant smells, perfumes and things like that people like, and touches, being very comfortable, the body being comfortable or enjoying relaxation. It's a very sensual, can be a very sensual experience. So this is one of the floods that's hard to cross over. Why? Because we're attached to a lot of these things. I often say these things are what lead to our rebirth. The food that we like. If we like Sri Lankan food, where are we likely to be reborn? Sri Lanka or Melbourne. Maybe Melbourne. It's the same for all of us. Whatever food, whatever sights we like, that will tend to condition where we are reborn. So this is something that is the Buddha described as a flood. And of course the flood of being, just to exist, to be somebody, to make a name for ourselves. Our egos, this is the whole thing about being somebody. And of course this is the trap or the flood that we get caught up in. And the next one, the flood of views. People often think when they come to Buddhism, views are not that important. But you just look at the American elections. You think, wow, the Buddha calls it a thicket of views, like a jungle of views. It's incredible. And people will kill each other for these views. And it's not as if anyone is above views. It comes with being a human being. We'll have views, for sure, about everything. Big and small, or big and small. But the point of it is to notice, are these views skillful or wholesome, or are they unskillful? Are they unwholesome? If they're unwholesome, unskillful, they're going to lead to bad speech and bad actions, for sure. Unwholesome or unskillful actions and speech. And so then we should not give them too much attention, not focus on them, not get too invested in them. And the last one is the flood of ignorance. And of course this is not knowing the nature of reality, which is everything is impermanent, changeable. Everything is unsatisfactory, cannot lead to permanent or complete satisfaction, to permanent happiness. This is what we're looking for. In an impermanent system, is it possible to get permanent happiness? Doesn't work. And of course, in an impermanent system, is there going to be a permanent I, me, and myself? No way, it's not possible. So that's the floods that the Buddha is talking about. And of course, the complete ending of suffering is what we are here for. The monks and nuns, when we ordain, we have a chant we do, and it goes, Sammadukkha Nisarana Nibbana Sachi Karanataya. And that means that this is for the escape or freedom from all suffering and to realize Nibbana. And this is what all of us are aiming to do in our own good time. I always say to people it's not compulsory. And when you see in Sri Lanka, often you see, on the death notice, they'll say, Niwan Suala Veve Veva, which means may they receive or obtain Nibbana or Nirvana. And of course, I often look at the picture and I don't think so. I don't think that's what they want to do. They want to come back to see the grandkids and all those things. So that's the purpose of the Buddha's teaching, the purpose of today. But of course, in the meantime, it's also for our happiness and well-being, even though we are heading in that direction, the complete ending of suffering, which means the ending of rebirth. In the meantime, to create all those positive states of mind that lead to happiness, positive actions, positive speech, that lead to happiness here and now, for sure. And also to avoid all the negative actions by body, by speech, and by mind. And that will reduce the suffering aspect of our lives greatly. So this is what the Dhamma is about, and today is a celebration of two things really in addition. Giving is dana, is a very big thing that we're celebrating today, and that is not a small thing. It shouldn't be undervalued, and it can be used in our meditation, call it Chaganusati, to give us this inspiration and this joy, which the Buddha says then can lead to this rapture in the body, and that's more of a mental experience really, tranquility of body and mind. Then this happiness arising, then stillness or one-pointedness, and then seeing things as they truly are. So giving is very important. It cannot be underrated, as is sila too, the morality. This is vital for our happiness here. If we want to have unhappy lives, if we want to have distressing life situations, break sila. It's a sure thing that we'll soon be living in a teledrama, as I say. So this is very important for our happiness here and now, and the support foundation for that path to Nibbana. And of course, developing the mind, as I mentioned before, so that we can make a complete ending of suffering. So I'd say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu to everybody today for this. And I'd like to end here by mentioning again that mutual support. We're in this together. That's what I would say. We're in this together, and this is very, very important. And we're lucky we have the teachings of the Buddha. Otherwise, wow, how to make sense of this, the world today? Oof, really difficult. So sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you. And now, I think we will chant. We do a short blessing. We do the main blessing after the meal, after the ceremony. I don't think, no announcements at this stage? All right. So I will lead the short blessing, and then after that we'll check out about the arrangements for the pindapata, the rice pindapata. So there we are. Now the Sangha will do the short blessing, which I will lead. Samba roga vinimuto, samba santa pavajito, samba veramati kanto, nibuto chatuam bhava, sambitio vivajantu, samba rogo vinasatu, mate bhavatwantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava, abhivadana silisa nijam buddha Chayino Chattaro Dhamma Vadanti Ayuwano Sukhang Valang. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So that completes the short blessing, and then I think, is there any special arrangements for the rice offering? I think now everybody is going to. Do you want to? Yes, yeah, there we go.
Outside the circular.
Yeah, we will be. The rice, as usual, the rice pindapata will be in the roundabout around the road, and I think things will be set up out there, and then the Sangha will come out soon, and we can have the rice pindapata, and then the Sangha will take the food, and most of the monks will disappear, I won't, and then you can have your meal, and then we'll come back at 12:15 at the generator if you wish to join in the procession. All right, that's it. All right, so sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. There we are. That's good. Oh, hello, hello. I'll leave it.
Do we keep the chairs for the robe offering, or we move?